All right, good morning, everybody, and a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to everyone from me, Teching 101, Barry, who is a brick, and Barry's dad, who is just named Barry's dad, who is here and I guess is canon on the channel now. I do not know where this is leading to. By the end of 2024, I could have 17 bricks back here. I'm gonna have to build a table. I don't know how to build a table. I'm a YouTuber. I'm gonna have to watch another YouTuber to learn how to build a table to keep all of the bricks back here. We're gonna be every month is gonna be a new member of Barry's family. January's Barry's mom. February's is Barry's little brother. March is Barry's great Aunt Gertrude or something. I don't know. I don't know where this is going, okay? But anyway, Merry Christmas, everybody. I don't know where I was going with this. That's not going to happen, by the way. That's 100% not going to happen. I don't have that many bricks. Well, no, that's not going to happen. Okay, so today we're going to be doing a fun little Christmas video, all right? A couple of weeks ago, I was doing a live stream. It was the live stream for Chapter 1100, and Ricardo sent me a super chat, and he asked me which Straw Hat would be the worst at giving a gift. So that kind of got us into a conversation about the Straw Hats giving gifts for each other. And then just last Saturday on the 23rd, when I was doing my charity stream for St. Jude Children's Hospital, by the way, thanks to everybody that donated and showed up, and we did the crossover tournament and everybody that was the judge for that. It was a fantastic time. Over $13,000 raised for St. Jude. I think it might be over $14,000 right now, but the donation link is still available to go direct to the hospital to donate to St. Jude. But we were talking about at the very end of the stream a Straw Hat Secret Santa. So I rolled for that to see which Straw Hat was going to have to give presents to another Straw Hat, like a Secret Santa kind of deal. And I thought that would be a good video for Christmas. So here's where we are with that. Okay, so we're going to go in order with the Straw Hats, order number, Luffy is 1, Zoro is 2, and then I've already rolled on who they're going to have to give a present to. Now, typically the idea of a Secret Santa is you only give one present to the person that you have to, you roll. So we're probably going to do that for some of them, but some of them I couldn't really decide. So I'm going to throw out some ideas, and you guys can pick out which idea is the best for yourself. Kind of like an open-ended sort of thing. Let's make this like a choose-your-own-adventure game kind of Christmas, Also, some of the Straw Hats I thought well, what if Brook sings a song because he's a musician, right? And I'm thinking, well, that is a gift. I mean, you are gifting something to somebody, but I tried to keep it to something physical for the sake of going out and getting a gift and giving it to a Straw Hat, all right? Some of them might not be physical, some of them might be something that they do for the individual or something, but we'll get to it when we get to it. First up, we have Luffy, who rolled Chopper on the Secret Santa. Now, honestly, I think this is one of the best ones Luffy could have rolled. Either Luffy or Usopp. I mean, either Chopper or Usopp for Luffy, okay? Because they have very similar mindsets. And in fact, in terms of the whole crew, Luffy and Chopper have very similar perspectives on what they enjoy and things like that, right? So, Luffy buying a present for anybody is really funny. Just the shenanigans just inherently are there. You know what I mean? So, follow me on this, on the way that I think Luffy, the captain of the crew, is going to get a present for Chopper, all right? He's going to think to himself really quick, because Luffy doesn't really sit around and ruminate on things, right? Luffy does not sit there, and we've seen it whenever Luffy tries to think for longer than 10 seconds, his brain literally starts to overheat, okay? Just when he was on Amazon Lily trying to figure out a way back to Sabaody, he was like, oh, I'm going to need a boat. Oh, but I don't know where Sabaody is. I'm going to need a navigator. Oh, man, this is hard. So I think Luffy's going to just think really quick about Chopper and the kind of stuff that Chopper likes. So Chopper likes cotton candy, he likes doctor stuff, and he likes cherry blossoms because of Drum Island and everything like that. So I think Luffy is going to think about this for 10 seconds, and he's like, cotton candy, doctor stuff, cherry blossoms. And then he's immediately going to run off into a town somewhere, try to find all three of these things, throw them together, and give them to Chopper. Okay? That's Luffy's perspective on getting stuff is just like, wait a minute, what if I find a cherry blossom tree, then I get some cotton candy and stick it in the cherry blossom tree, and then get a bunch of doctor stuff and throw it in the tree, and then just throw it down in front of Chopper. That's Merry Christmas. And it's a tree, because Christmas tree. There you go. So, you know, I could see Luffy doing that. Luffy's gonna run off into a hospital because, you know, he's like, I need doctor stuff. And they're like, we don't sell doctor stuff at a hospital. It's a hospital, you know? But either so, Luffy's gonna find a way. He's gonna, I don't know, steal them, or he's gonna, you know, I don't know. He'll get doctor stuff somehow. But Luffy's not a doctor, so he doesn't really know. It's just like, that, like, stethoscope. He doesn't know it's called a stethoscope. He does not know what that thing is called, but he knows Chopper uses one. So it's like, oh, there's that thing Chopper uses. Oh, syringes? Okay, Chopper could use these. And he's just going through the hospital, taking random bandages and, like, antiseptic and stuff, like random vials of things. Yeah, that looks like medicine. Those are pills. Those are things Chopper uses. Sure. You know, so he's going to get a bunch of doctor stuff. Then he's going to go to the candy shop, and he's going to get, like, he's going to walk in and just be like, give me all of your cotton candy. So Luffy's just gonna take the giant wad of cotton candy, like the size of a city bus, and he's just gonna be like, yeah, there's a lot of cotton candy. Chopper's gonna love this. Then he's gonna find a cherry blossom tree, rip it out of its freaking roots, and just like, oh, cool, perfect. Yeah, and he's gonna rip it out of the ground, throw the cotton candy on the cherry blossom tree, and then decorate it with all of the doctor stuff he got from the hospital. Show up back at the Sunny on Christmas morning. He's like, Chopper, I got you this. Boom! And Luffy just drops a tree in the middle of the Thousand Sunny. And everybody's just flabbergasted at this. Just like, you know, we were all kind of like, I imagine like Usopp and Sanji and Franky were like placing bets on how Luffy's gift was going to be, because it's Luffy. So it's like, oh man, Luffy has to get a gift for Chopper. Where is this gonna go? There are so many different directions, right? And so somebody's gonna, I don't know, maybe Usopp would have been the one that's like, he's probably just gonna grab a bunch of random stuff he knows that Chopper likes, but it's still gonna end up being good somehow. And so everyone's like, yeah, so Usopp makes the money from that, you know, that potluck back over there, that like betting pool they all had, right? Okay. So anyway, they throw down the tree, and the thing is, Chopper loves it. Because Chopper, like I said, very similar mindset with Luffy. Chopper's gonna see this tree, it's cherry blossoms, it's cotton candy, and it's covered with doctor stuff, and he's just gonna be like, Luffy, it's the best Christmas present ever! Oh my god, thank you so much! Chopper's gonna start eating the cotton candy while watching the cherry blossoms that are mixed in with the cotton candy and the various syringes and drugs that are like, you just shake the tree and it just falls out. And he's just like, oh, okay, this is, okay, Luffy, these are some really strong painkillers, but I can use them. Just, how many of these did you take? Oh, I didn't eat them. Oh, that's good. These are not candy. That's fantastic. Okay, yeah, I could use these. Okay, this is just a type of acid. I don't know where you got this, but okay, I mean, I could use that to make stuff. A lot of ingredients, if you've ever seen Dr. Stone, making medicine can be kind of dangerous if you don't know what you're doing, so Luffy probably just grabbed a bunch of random stuff, you know, okay. So anyway, he's like, I got poked with those syringes a couple times, but there was nothing in them. I should be good. Just like, okay. But, okay, that's Luffy's gift. I think Luffy giving Chopper that, I think Chopper would like it, is the point of I'm trying to make. Okay, next up we have Zoro. Zoro rolled Brook for his Secret Santa. Okay, so he has to get a present for Brook. Now, here's the thing with Zoro. Here's how I think this is going to shake down, okay? Zoro's going to actually come up with a really good idea for Brook, because he knows Brook is a swordsman just like himself. So he's like, man, you know what I should get Brook? I should get Brook a really nice cane sword. You know, like a really nice one. Like Zoro's picturing a cane sword in his head, but it's stylized like the Enma, like this really high level kind of like not a samurai sword because it's a cane sword. But, you know, maybe Zoro is thinking about it like, oh, the cane's going to be cool. It's going to have like flames on it, like this cool aesthetic or something like that Brook could like take out and wield or something, right? So Zoro's going to have a really good idea on what he wants to get Brook, but then he's Zoro. So when he goes to actually buy the sword, he's going to get lost, and he's going to get lost hard, okay? And every time Zoro gets lost, it's going to be like a new mini quest for him, where he gets lost trying to go to the sword shop. He ends up at a bakery, and somebody at the bakery was like, "Oh, humble one-eyed swordsman, I need some help delivering all of my croissants for Christmas." And then Zoro's like, "Yeah, okay, sure, but after this, I got to go to the sword store." So he delivers all of the croissants, and one of them he delivers to an old lady, and the old lady is like, "Oh, green-haired samurai, I need some help moving the stuff out of my garage. Can you help me?" And then Zoro's gonna be like, "Okay, yeah." And so it's just gonna be one of those. It's gonna be mini quest leads to mini quest leads to mini quest all day with this shit. Zoro is gonna be carrying stuff upstairs, helping deliver stuff. You know, that's Zoro's job for the day. And after the whole day is over, the whole day is done, he still is not even close to the sword shop, and he is exhausted from getting lost all this time, right? It's almost like a complete loop where he ends up, like, he leaves the Sunny, goes on like 17 mini quests, and then he just ends up back at the Sunny, and he's like, "Damn it!" And then it's like the last minute, it's a couple of hours until Christmas Eve is over, it's like late at night, and he's just like, "Okay, I'm just gonna get Brook whatever," and like, there's a random dude selling, like, I don't know, hats or something next to him, and just be like, "I'll take this hat." He buys a hat for Brook, and he gives it to him. And just like, "Yeah, Brook, here you go, Merry Christmas." And it's just like, "Oh, Zoro, thank you for this lovely cowboy hat." You know, what kind of hat would he end up buying? I don't know. You know what I'm actually kind of picturing? A very flamboyant, like, pimp hat. Like a bright purple hat with, like, snow leopard print around it. That's the kind of hat. This very bright, vibrant thing that he just buys randomly from a random dude selling costumes or hats or whatever. But Brook loves it, and he's just like, "You know what? This does fit the style of, like, heavy metal rocker kind of thing. Okay, thank you, Zoro." And Zoro's like, "Yep, that was what I planned on getting you this entire time." And so I think it'll all work out for Zoro. All right, next up, we have Nami. Nami rolled Jinbe for her Secret Santa. Now, I went back and I reread Fishman Island, or at least the portion of Fishman Island, when Jinbe was telling the story of Fisher Tiger and Arlong and himself and everything like that, and Otohime and everything. And remember, like, that is literally Jinbe apologizing and, like, telling Nami the story that led Arlong into the East Blue, which resulted in him killing Belmere and enslaving the entire Kokoyashi village and enslaving Nami in particular, branding her with the tattoo. This is the origin story for how all that came to pass. And then after Jinbe tells the story, he's like to Nami, it's like, "I know you probably hate me. Actually, you know what's interesting about that story is something I forgot. Jinbe mentions that if Arlong ever got out of control, because him getting released from Impel Down was part of the stipulation for Jinbe becoming a warlord, so he viewed him as, like, his responsibility. Jinbe said that if Arlong ever got out of hand anywhere in the world, I was going to stop him. However, remember, Arlong bribed the local marine officials. He bribed Nezumi. So Nezumi never reported this to Marine HQ, so Jinbe never found out about it. But in an alternate world, if like Pudding or somebody would have relayed the information back to Marine HQ and Jinbe got word of this, that Arlong was in the East causing trouble, although Arlong did have a bounty poster, but maybe the bounty poster didn't circulate outside the East. If Jinbe ever found out about it, he would have went and stopped Arlong himself. Unfortunately, that never came to pass. But anyway, Jinbe's telling this story to Nami, and Nami is just like, "Jinbe, raise your head. I don't hate you. I don't have any, like, ill feelings towards you. I hate Arlong is the one who did all of that stuff. You did nothing wrong here, okay?" But it's an interesting parallel between them, because it's like Jinbe does feel guilt for, you know, knowing Arlong and end up releasing him from Impel Down, which ultimately resulted in him going to the East, right? So I think Nami's going to be aware of that kind of, like, situation of just like, okay, maybe Jinbe maybe Jinbe still thinks that, like, I don't like him or something, or there's a problem here or something like that. So I'm going to make him a really nice personal present, okay? Now, I was thinking about what Nami could get Jinbe, and I wanted it to be something related to the Sun Pirates. Okay, to remember, like, you know, him and like Fisher Tiger and everybody like that on his journey back then. Okay, so here's what I think she could do. I went back and looked at all the different kimonos, and none of them had the design of the Sun Pirates sigil. You know, like there's just the symbol of the sun, right? So I think what Nami's going to do is she can definitely sew fairly well. We've seen her like fix up clothing and like Luffy's hat. She might try to sew it herself, or she might like go and, you know, spend money to get like a tailor to make it, because this is for a friend, so she would definitely spend money. People in the, you know, when we were doing the charities, not the charity stream, when we were doing the live stream talking about worst gifts, people were like, oh, Nami won't give anybody because she's like greedy. It's like, no, for a gift, Nami would definitely give some money. She would spend money for her friends, right? But anyway, at any rate, Nami is going to gift Jinbe an outfit, his like traditional outfits that he always wears, but it's going to have the sigils of the Sun Pirates and the Straw Hats on there. Okay, maybe like stitch in like a Mekon tree, like a little Mekon on there as well. Okay, just to kind of be like, Jinbe, it's okay. Here you go. Everything's fine. And just like, I don't hate you. All right, I hate Arlong is the one. So here you go. I think it's just going to be a really nice outfit for Jinbe to wear, that has the Sun Pirate sigil, the Straw Hat sigil, because he is part of the crew now, and like a little Mekon tree. It's like, it's from Nami. Here you go. And just like, oh, Nami. And I think Jinbe is going to like cry at that, honestly, because he's just like, oh, I'm so sorry for what happened to your mother and your village. And it's just like, it's okay, here you go. It's like, I don't blame you in the slightest. It's fine. Luffy beat up Arlong. The village is fine now. Everybody's like living their best lives. I mean, Bellamere, I mean, she's smiling from up above right now. And so Jinbe's like, and then he's like, he remembers, you know, Fisher Tiger, you know, the captain of the Sun Pirates, and his crew he's on now. And so that, I think that's going to be a very emotional gift for Jinbe. Okay. So next up, we have Usopp. Usopp is going to be giving a gift to Luffy. Once again, I think this is one of the best options for Usopp to give a gift to, because Usopp, Luffy on very similar wavelengths, okay? Okay, now, I could just go simple with this, right? And just be like, Usopp gives Luffy some meat, you know, goes to a meat shop and buys everything and just gives Luffy a sampler of all the different, like, here's some chicken, here's some beef, here's some pork, here's some mutton, you know, here's some bison or whatever, here's Sea King meat or whatever. Here's a sampler, Luffy, have fun. Here's various sauces, you know. Usopp could do that, and that's one option. But Usopp is also an inventor. So I was trying to think, what's a cool invention that Usopp could make? Not as complicated as something Franky could do, but something Usopp could make that he could give Luffy, that Luffy would be like, awesome! You know, that kind of stuff, right? All right, here's what I came up with. Do you guys remember back at Skypiea, after Usopp got all those dials, after he has that big bag of dials after trading all the rubber bands and everything with the Skypieans, right? He's just like, hey, Zoro, I could attach a flame dial to your sword, and then you could have a flame sword. Or I could attach a breath dial or a scent dial to your sword so you smell freshly cut, you know, cantaloupe every time you slice somebody apart. You know, and Zoro's just like, nah, I'm okay with that. But that gives me an interesting idea. So Usopp is going to take his dials and his various other technology, and he's going to make little bracelets, okay? Little bracelets that'll go on like Luffy's wrist and for his like anklets for his ankles and stuff like that. So like they're not in the way when he's fighting, okay? But just like, and these bracelets are basically going to function like they're going to give aesthetics in battle. So when Luffy uses Gamu Gamu no pistol, he could click a setting on the wristlet, and maybe it creates like a firework effect or like a neon light effect or something. It's like LED lights in the One Piece universe, or like a light dial or something. So you click the bracelet, and then it glows red and like green, and it like flashes. So when Luffy really fast, like pistol, you know, front and back, it like lights up, and it's this really cool effect. And then there's another setting for sound, so it's just like kaboom, you know, or another setting for like a firework, like kind of similar to when Usopp made Nami's first version of the climb attack, it was more for party favors. So it's kind of like that, except for Luffy's attacks. It doesn't make Luffy's attacks any stronger. It's just for aesthetic. But I think Luffy would love that. It would be like, wow, Usopp, this is so cool. Like every time Luffy punches somebody, lights up a different color or makes a different noise, or I don't know, a little sprinklers shoot out or something like that. A little flag pops out that just says kapow or something like that. I think that would be really fun while Luffy's fighting. You know, all this crazy, wacky stuff is happening when he's using his finishing moves to add more flair to it. And I mean, Usopp would also make them look cool because he knows Luffy's style and everything like that. So he would make them look cool on Luffy, and then he would be like a robot going around punching things and blowing up crazy sound effects and everything like that. I think that would be more of a gift suited for like Usopp's talents making it and then giving it to Luffy. He would also give him the meat sampler platter, I guess. You know, like there you go. As well, like here's a holiday collection of beef jerky, Luffy, and also here are these cool little bracelets that light up when you fight. It's just like awesome, you know. It's like, okay, who's up next? Sanji giving a gift for Nami. Okay. I just hang on for a second here. Hang on, because I know immediately where we're gonna go to this. It's just like, oh my God, Sanji's gonna get a gift for Nami. Oh man, he's gonna go out and buy like a sexy Santa like bikini set for her or something. I bought you this, you know. It's like, you should try it on, you know, or something like that, right? Sanji's gonna pull Nami for the Secret Santa, and he's gonna freak out, right? He's gonna be in the kitchen pacing back and forth for hours, like, oh my God, okay, what do I get Nami? I have to make sure it's the ultimate present. Now, Sanji's immediately going to go to like, ooh, something sexy. Oh, but that's not very, okay, maybe I will, but something else. Ooh, what if I make her something? Okay, so Sanji's thinking I'll make her a cake, like the best cake ever or something. And he could definitely do that, but the thing is like, oh, what if Sanji's like, oh, maybe something more personal though, something that she could have, because you make a cake, the cake doesn't last forever. The cake is eaten and then it's gone, you know, and he also thinks, oh, Luffy's probably going to eat the whole damn cake in one bite and then I won't even be able to give it to her. You know, it's like, okay, no. I need to figure out something that I can have that's like personal that she could really love, okay? Now, when I realized this, when I came up with this, I'm going to throw out this idea for you now. Now, the logistics of this are a little bit like, how could he get this? But I think it's feasible. I think it is somewhat feasible, especially if we're doing like non-canon stuff here, okay? Sanji pacing back and forth for hours trying to figure out the perfect present for Nami, and then the light bulb goes off on his head. He's remembering like, okay, he's remembering Kokoyashi Village and the Arlong Park arc and everything that happened there, okay? And then it goes off in his head. Light bulb, all right? Sanji goes to the nearest Marine base. Just follow me on this, okay? He's going to start going after Marine bases. He's going to maybe disguise himself so he can get in without everybody freaking out. Like, that's Blackleg Sanji! All right? Although, Sanji's back to his old wanted poster that looks like Duval now, so maybe he could just walk in and people wouldn't even notice him, right? Well, anyway, Sanji's going to disguise himself or whatever. He's going to start going into Marine bases because the thing that he needs to find for Nami as a present is going to be in the hands of the Marines. Now, which Marine base it would be in, that's kind of iffy, all right? But he's going to be very dedicated to this. He's like, this is what I need to get Nami for Christmas. So he's going to start going to various Marine bases. It's not in this one. Next one over. He might be asking people about it. He's going to have to figure out a way where to find it, okay? So it's going to be really hard to find this, and Sanji's going to have to probably travel all over the Grand Line to find this, but he'll eventually get it because he's dedicated, okay? He gets to a Marine base that has what he's looking for. He goes down into the basement of this place that is like the file room, okay? Or like the library area of the Marine base or something, okay? And the thing is, like, I don't know what they're called really in the military, like not files or resumes, but like dossiers, I guess. It's like when you become a member of a military organization, they take your picture and you have to like, you know, this is Tashigi, a date of birth, this, you know, all the different like blood type, this, and they have files and dossiers on all of the Marines because they're the Marines. They're a military organization, okay? Sanji is going to try to find the dossier for Belmere because Belmere was a member of the Marines. We do not know what her rank was. She was an officer because she had the Justice Cloak, but we don't know what rank she was, and we don't know where she was stationed. She might have been stationed just in the east. She might have been stationed in the Grand Line. She's from Kokoyashi Village, and she fought in the Oikok Kingdom, which is in the east, so she was probably at a base in the east, but she might have went to the Grand Line. That's what I mean. Like, it's going to be really hard to find this thing, right? But eventually, Sanji's just give it to me that Sanji, after not knocking over, but like infiltrating a few Marine bases, he eventually finds the Marine base that has the file for Belmere. So he's going to find the file for Belmere and a picture of her that probably Nami has never seen before. Because, like, pictures exist in the One Piece world. They have Den Den Mushi and they can take photographs and stuff like that. But they're not as ubiquitous, I think, as in our world, okay? Especially not with, like, smartphones and you could just take pictures. This would be a picture of Belmere when she was a lot younger, when she first joined the Marines. It's probably going to be like this picture in that cover page that Oda drew for Film Z with all of the different Marines when they first joined. It's probably going to be like this picture. So Nami might have never seen this photo of Belmere before, and she probably doesn't have that many photos of Belmere to begin with, okay? So Sanji's going to find that picture in the document. He's going to steal it. He's going to take it. He's going to get it framed in a really cute little frame, maybe he'll decorate it with little, like, tangerines around the side or something like that, little pinwheel symbols or whatever. And that is going to be the present that he gives Nami. And Nami's maybe even going to be, like, not dreading this, but Nami's going to be like, oh, Sanji's giving me a present. Like, she finds out on Christmas Day that it's Sanji giving her the present. Like, oh, this is going to be something. Like, okay. But then Sanji throws her for a loop. Okay, he doesn't present her like, here's the sexy bikini. No, it's, here you go. And it's just a small present. Like, it's nothing crazy big or ostentatious. It's just a small little present. And Nami's like, okay. She takes it, she opens it, and she sees a picture of a young Belmere, like in her 20s, when, earlier than, Nami has ever seen her before. And then she just looks at that, and I think she just cries. Okay? And then she goes to hug Sanji, and then there's going to be a fun little moment after this where Nami's like, after she, like, wipes the tears a little bit, she's like, you know what? I thought you were going to get me something like, some kind of sexy lingerie or something. And this is such a shallow gift. And this is so nice. And then meanwhile, cut to Sanji, who has, like, the lingerie behind his back. Like, oh yeah, no, I thought of that immediately. Yeah, here you go. So that, I think that would be a great present. I think Sanji, after pacing around thinking for hours, would like, wait a minute, Belmere, Nami's mother, he has no idea what she looked like, but I think Sanji would at least know that she was a Marine. I think they found out that much. And it's like, okay, well, if she was a Marine, then she would have a dossier. She would have a document with her photo in it. What if I can get that and then give it to Nami? Oh my God, that would be lovely, okay? So, I don't know. What do you think about that? I think that's a great present. Moving on, we have Chopper's present, and this is going to be for Robin. Now, in a very similar way that, like, Luffy got a present for Chopper, I think Chopper's present for Robin is going to be kind of like thinking about everything that Robin likes, okay? So, he's going to be like, all right, what does Robin like? She likes books, she likes archaeology, and she likes dark humor. Because that's Robin, right? Now, unlike Luffy, I don't think Chopper's going to run out and buy, like, a giant pile of random books. Like, here you go, Robin. Like, thank you. No. I'm sure Robin would like that, even if it was a bunch of random books that she was never going to read. It's just like, whatever. But I think Chopper is going to think a little bit better about it than Luffy did and coalesce everything into an actual present, okay? Not like just a bunch of random stuff thrown together that just ended up working out as a present. So she likes archaeology, or history, rather. She likes history. She likes books. She likes dark humor. I think Chopper's going to go to, like, a bookstore and, like, look through all of the books and try to find a single book that, like, encapsulates everything Robin's about. So he's going to find a book about, like, a big book that includes a lot of history. And so, yeah, Chopper's going to give her this big book of, like, here's some of the worst things that have happened in history, but it's history and it's dark. You're going to love it, Robin. And Robin's actually going to be like, I've actually never read this book before. Okay. Oh, wow. Yes, that's... wow. He carved out their organs with a rusty saw blade. That's an interesting way to go about it. Like, or like just like torture. You know what I mean? Like, just here's a compendium on torture tactics from like 400 years ago or something. Like some book with like a really dark kind of like topic. But Robin would be like, so that's what an Iron Maiden is, huh? It's just like, okay, I can see Robin, like, enjoying that. Like, actually, like, giving it a good read at the very least, right? Okay. Huh, that's okay. Yeah. And it just makes it all the more funny, because Chopper's the one buying this. Chopper walks into a bookstore like, hey, can I have a book on torture, on medieval torture techniques, please? And the guy is like, this cute, adorable reindeer's like, can I have a book on torture and serial killers, please? And like, yes, but I'm gonna have to ask you to leave as soon as you buy it because I don't want you in the store anymore. I don't know where this is going, you know? And he's like, okay, thank you. Chopper like runs out of the bookstore super happy, and it's the book cover is like this horrible like contorted mess of a dude that just got out of an Iron Maiden. You know, I know Iron Maidens historically weren't like in the One Piece world they were, you know. It's like, okay, there you go. Anyway, Chopper's walking down the street. I got a present for Robin. He's gonna wrap it in really cute like wrapping paper, and it's just this book on like torture and murderers. Okay, anyway. So there you go. That's the gift for Robin. Now, Robin's gift is going to be for Franky. Now, I am a huge Franky Robin stan, all right? I stand by that 100%. If there was any... I know there's no romance with the Straw Hats. I get it. But if there was, Franky and Robin is perfect here, okay? So Robin's going to be thinking about Franky and like, okay... Here's the cutest thing about Franky and Robin is they're kind of polar opposites, but they also at the same time like understand each other. Like Robin does find Franky very amusing, okay? Sometimes he goes overboard with it like, hey Robin, join with us and become a mech! And Robin's like, no Franky, I find you kind of humorous and funny, but you crossed a line with that. I'm not joining with you to become a robot. That is so stupid and lame. Okay, so there's a limit to that, right? But it also kind of goes that, like, Robin understands Franky a bit and knows the kind of stuff that he likes. Okay, it's like, so Franky really likes Speedos. He likes Speedos. He likes Hawaiian shirts. He has his cola. Okay. I'm trying to think of the store in the One Piece world that would exist for this, okay? Just like how it would be weird for Chopper to like ask for a book on medieval torture, like because it's Chopper. I want you to picture, because Franky really loves mechs and stuff like that, right? He loves, like Franky would be a huge fan of, like, Gundam and, like, giant mech anime. That would be up his alley 100%. He has, you know, the giant, Franky Shogun and everything like that, right? So what if Robin walks into, like, the equivalent of, like an otaku kind of like figurine mech shop kind of thing, like you would see in like Akihabara or something, like a big figurine set like shop, okay? So Robin walks in, this insanely attractive woman walks into like a nerd shop, okay? And so she's like, I'm looking for a gift for somebody. What's the largest like mech figurine set you have? And they're like, oh, okay, well, it's... And then they show Robin, like, this giant, like, life-size Gundam set or whatever. It's huge, right? Okay, and it costs a lot of money. But Robin figures out a way to pay for it, or she just steals it. They are all pirates, after all. She's like, I am a pirate. So anyway, she... uses her Hana no Mi to lift up this giant like box, this giant figurine set of this set to like establish. It's like an actual set to build like a Gundam, right? And that's her gift to Franky. Now Franky's gonna see that unwrap. He's like, this is super! And then he's gonna be using his little tiny hands to like put it together, and then the bigger hands when the parts get huge. And then Franky's gonna turn this like figurine of a Gundam into an actual like functional weapon because he's Franky. So it's not just going to be for aesthetic. He's going to maybe add it to the Franky Shogun a little bit. So the Franky Shogun is just going to look more like an actual Gundam. Okay, is basically what this is going to be. That's going to be Robin's gift to Franky. All right, so like a giant mech Gundam, you know, set to assemble, and Franky's going to love it. He's going to go overboard with it. He's going to bust out like, you know, it's going to be like made out of real metal. He's going to take like welding to it and everything, like building an actual like mech that's fully functional. That's going to be cool. And then after this is all done, Franky's going to be like, all right, Robin, I built an extra, you know, cockpit. Okay. I built an extra seat just for you. And Robin's like, oh no, I'm not riding in that thing, but you have fun, Franky. And Franky's like, all right, super, thanks. And then Franky's in a Gundam. There you go. That's the gift for Franky. I love the premise of that is just they sell giant Gundam figures in the One Piece world. Yeah, they do now. Okay, they do now. If Tekking's writing this Christmas special, they do. All right, who's next? Franky getting a present for Sanji. This is something I think is fairly easy for Franky. He's a brilliant engineer. He built the Thousand Sunny, right? So I was looking through the kitchen of the Thousand Sunny. It's got some really impressive stuff. It's got a giant oven. It's got a huge sink. It's got a big fridge with a lock on it. Now, the One Piece world already is very anachronistic. Oda just kind of takes a bunch of stuff from different parts of the world because Vegapunk is this brilliant scientist that's inventing stuff way ahead of his time. So the One Piece world would have probably been a lot more primitive if it wasn't for Vegapunk, you know what I mean? But anyway, they don't have every modern convenience of our world, though, okay? And the one modern kitchen appliance that Sanji would absolutely die for would be a giant industrial-sized dishwasher. Like the kind of dishwashers they have at like a big restaurant where they have to like wash like 100 plates at the same time or something like that, right? And I do not believe the Sunny has one because I do not believe they exist. They might exist on Egghead. Like, Vegapunk probably figured out dishwasher technology, but they're not ubiquitous, okay? So either Franky's gonna talk to Vegapunk and get one from him, or he's just gonna invent it himself, because he's Franky. He can build pretty much anything, right? He can build a KitchenAid. He can build, hey, Sanji, I invented this thing called an Instapot. Here you go. You know, it's like, yeah. Franky's gonna build, he's like, even if this is before Egghead, Franky's gonna be like, man, Sanji has to do a lot of dishes. If only there was some kind of machine that can wash dishes for him. That would make his job so much easier. He makes delicious food for all of us, and he always has to do the dishes. So how about we do that? So I think Franky's going to invent the dishwasher. And even if the dishwasher already exists in some form, it's Franky. His version is going to be way cool. It's going to have LED lights on the inside. It's going to make cool little sounds. You know, every time he opens up, it's like, hey, your dishes are clean. Super! The washing cycle, the drying cycle, it's going to be super fast. He might get some dials from Usopp to help him out. So all the Straw Hats one night are having this massive dinner, and it's just a pile of dishes on the table. Luffy's just like, nom nom, more, nom nom, and just giant pile of dishes. And so after everybody's done eating, Sanji just looks at this table, just like, oh my god, this is so much. And then that's when Franky shows up and reveals, actually, don't worry about it, Sanji. I have a brand new invention, and it's this giant dishwasher. And it works so well, okay? And it doesn't catch on fire like my old dishwasher did a couple weeks ago. True story. I was this close to having a house fire with that. So, got a new one now, and it works fantastic. But yeah, so Franky's going to invent the dishwasher for Sanji. I think that's a great present for him. Okay. Next up, we got Brook's present for Usopp. This was the hardest one, to be honest with you. This was the hardest one, because I was like, what if Brook just sings a song for Usopp? I thought about that. Like, Brook comes up with a song for Usopp of, like, being the greatest hero in the seas. Okay, so we're going to get back to that in a moment, because that would be a present, and you have tone dials. So, you know, Usopp could use a tone dial to, like, capture the song and listen to it, whatever. Like the Sage King theme song. Like, Brook sings the Sage King theme song, and it's on a tone dial, so Usopp can, like, play it whenever he wants to show up to battle as Sage King. He's like, you know, the wind carries my name from Sniper Island far away, you know, but it's like the Brook, like, heavy metal remix edition. So that could be a present. That actually is more of an actual present when I think about it, because they do have tone dials to like capture it. But then I also thought, like, what do you get Usopp, right? And I realized Brook is gonna like look at Usopp and the stuff he likes and his arsenal with like slingshots and pop greens and all the explosive stars in his satchel. A present for Usopp. What could I get a man that already has everything? And that's when Brook realizes it. The best possible present you could get anybody for Christmas. The thing that the Christmas season is all about, really. Brook is going to get Usopp a brand new state-of-the-art bolt-action sniper rifle. Yep. And I've always wondered why Usopp never uses guns. You know what I mean? They exist in the One Piece world. Revolvers exist. Rifles exist. Sniper rifles exist. Usopp would be a buzzsaw with those things, all right? So even if you want to say, well, that's not how Usopp fights. He doesn't use a gun. He uses a slingshot. That's how Usopp fights. Dude, if Usopp woke up Christmas morning and unwrapped a brand new sniper rifle, do you think Usopp's going to be like, Brook, I really don't like this. Did you get me a gift receipt? I'm going to return this. I'll just take the money. You know, it's like Usopp's going to open that up and be like, holy shit, a sniper rifle! This thing's awesome! Boom! He's gonna be like Van Auger with that thing. Oh my god. Oh, and also, yeah, he's gonna name the rifle. Like Brook is gonna take some paint and like paint on the rifle, because Van Auger's has a name. His is, I think it's Senriku, which means like 1,000 lands or something. So guns can have names too. I'm sure Yasopp's rifle has a name as well. So Usopp's rifle is just gonna be called Sage King, Sniper King, and just like send you back to Sniper Island. Bam! You know, it's like that's gonna be Usopp's weapon. That's gonna be not even his main weapon, but he's gonna have it in his arsenal now. That's going to be cool for Usopp, all right? All right. Finally, we have Jinbe. And Jinbe, the only one left that hasn't received a present, is Zoro. And I think ending it out is also going to be a very easy present. Zoro is a simple man, ladies and gentlemen. He likes working out, he likes swords, he likes sake, and he likes to sleep. Jinbe loves sake too, but he doesn't just drink whatever. Jinbe is like a high class kind of like I don't know the best way to describe it. Like he's a great drinker, okay? Jinbe doesn't just drink whatever swill is around him, okay? He always drinks the finest sake, and he's like respectful when he does it. You know what I mean? So Jinbe's not just going to go to the liquor store and buy like a bottle of whatever sake he finds. Or like, here you go, Zoro. Now, Zoro would be fine with that. Jinbe's just like, here's a big bottle of just random sake. The first thing I found on the shelf, I just gave it to you. Zoro would be like the way I buy alcohol for people, because I don't know a lot about alcohol. But like Zoro would be like, oh, thanks, Jinbe. Great Christmas. Great. I'm already drunk. Great Christmas present, Jinbe. All right, great. Jinbe is going to go find the best quality sake he can find. Like the top shelf shit, because that's the kind of stuff Jinbe drinks, okay? So he's going to go try to find the Binks sake. Now, I know a lot of people have said Binks sake might actually end up being the One Piece. That's actually a popular theory. Like part of the One Piece or the One Piece is going to be a bottle of sake, and it's going to be Binks sake. Because if you listen to the song, it kind of ties into that. So assuming that it isn't the One Piece, there has to be some mythical level, high quality sake somewhere in the world, right? Even if it's not called Binks sake, it's some really high quality shit. Jinbe's gonna go find that stuff, okay? He might have to go through, like, you know, a bunch of tombs and crypts and fight his way through a horde of zombies, but he's gonna find that sake. He's like, the greatest booze in the world, the top shelf shit, all right? He's gonna bring it back and give it to Zoro, and Zoro's gonna be like, holy crap, I can't wait for this. And Zoro and Jinbe are going to have a drink together. And that's how they're going to spend their Christmas. Just getting drunk on the best wine that you could possibly imagine. The best sake in the world. Top shelf, okay? So that's it. All the other Strats will have some too. Zoro is like, Sanji's like, wow, that's some really good sake. Can I have some? And Jinbe will be like, sure. But, oh, no, Jinbe will be like, well, it's Zoro's gift. It's up to him. And Zoro's going to be like, screw you, swirly eyebrow. I'm not giving you any of my booze. Look, look, look. And then Sanji's like, well, screw you. I didn't want any. But then at the end of the day, maybe there's like a little bit of sake left, and he's just like, all right, do you want some? It is Christmas. Here you go, eyebrows. And just like, all right, thanks, Moss Ed. And he's like, has a little bit of like a drink of sake at the end, because, you know, Sanji would probably appreciate it as well. All right, there you go. There's the video on the Straw Hats, all their gifts. I don't think I forgot anybody. Yeah, Chopper got a gift. Brook, Jinbe, Luffy, Nami, Robin, Franky, Sanji, Usopp, Zoro. Yeah, they all got presents. They all got presents. We're all good. So let me know down below in the description what you thought about these presents that I came up with. And if there's any other ideas for presents like, oh, this would have been way better. Also, go check out a video that Goofy did a while ago where he was talking about Jinbe running through town and getting a bunch of presents for the different Straw Hats. That's also a really funny video about it, kind of in like a similar vein of like gift giving and all of that. So anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. This will be Teching 101 signing out. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. I'm just going to be talking to a bunch of bricks by the end of this.